Hey beauty, it's Risa coming to you live on Friday for some heart-to-heart conversation. Absolutely gorgeous out here today. This is for you. If you are just feeling frustrated, you're feeling stuck, you're not happy in your relationship, or you're just kind of coasting through, you're not really sure what to do, you're trying to figure out whether you want to stay or go. And so maybe you're in that place where you're not sure what to do, and you just kind of keep hoping that he'll change. But I'll tell you something, if you want something to change, if you want something to be different, you've got to do something different. So today, we're going to have a really empowering conversation. I want to share with you the first step to finding the clarity you need is actually applying your own emotional first aid. Does that sound good? Type a yes in the comments right now. Say hi and drop a yes if you would like to find out how to feel better right now and get on the path to really finding the true clarity that you need. So here's the mistake that most everybody I see is making, that I made, and that I see pretty much everyone making, is that it's just so easy to get focused on our partner and everything that we don't like, and trying to get them to change and be different. And we just there's a lot of energy that gets built up, a lot of momentum that gets built up, all the resentment, all the frustration. So I know we talk about this a lot, but it's just, we just don't have control, right? We don't have control over other people. I'm waiting for this airplane to go by, so hopefully you can hear me. Oh my goodness. So the good news, and here's the thing, here's the big switch that we need to make, is that we have to recognize what we have control over and what we don't. And so the good news here is that we do have the power to choose how we want to respond. We always have that choice, and maybe it doesn't feel like it right now because you just don't have the tools or the support you need to really to really choose how you want to respond. And so I'm going to give you some tips, some tips for today, and just to know that, I call this the power of one. We don't have control over other people, but you're 50% of the equation, right? We have a lot of power to influence the relationship and what's happening in it. And so it really starts, and this is tip number one, starts by, if we can just for now, just get our focus off that other person, off everything that we're not happy with, and just kind of turn our focus back onto ourselves, right? We have the power to choose how we want to respond. So we got to get our focus back on ourselves, and how, just even asking, so, how am I showing up for me right now? I'll tell you a quick story about when if you know my story, I was married to a man who struggled with alcoholism and depression, and I just got, oh my gosh, I got so focused on just trying to fix him and change him and solve that problem, which it really was not in my power to do. And I just, that's the thing, is like, we try to control stuff we don't have control over. It really, it's kind of my definition of suffering, right? It's like banging your head against a brick wall. Can you relate? Yeah, drop a yes in the comments if you feel like you've been just kind of banging your head against a brick wall. And so I finally got to the point where it's like, I realize what I have control over and what I don't. And I feel like, I just finally had to get the focus back on myself. And I know it's not that easy. I sort of like had to retrain my brain. And I was so used to just focusing on, that other person. We get focused on, things outside ourselves. And so we've got to bring our attention back and just even asking ourselves, what do I need to do to just take care of myself right now in this situation? And I always tell you this, but it's like, I might not like the situation, but I can take care of myself in it. So this is really the first step, you guys. It's just for now, and that doesn't mean you should be accepting any kind of unacceptable behavior, or that you shouldn't ask for what you want. But in general, we can just start to focus on our own self-care. A little self-care goes a long way. You'd be surprised. I had one client where just even in our first session, we talked about this is really the first step, just by getting the focus back on ourselves and just starting to focus on a little more on self-care. It automatically just interrupted that whole negative dynamic that was happening, because then people feel that it's like, okay, I'm showing up. I'm showing up for me. I'm taking care of me. I'm showing up more calm, more centered. I'm not so focused on, trying to control that other person, but I'm also up-leveling my communication skills and learning how to set healthy boundaries. But in the meantime, it's like I'm taking my power to choose. How do I want to show up? What do I need to do to first show up for myself here? And so, so that's a big part of self-care. And this is where I feel like most of us don't have the tools we need for what I call emotional first aid. And so I want to just give you a really little powerful process that you can use. This is one of the processes that I teach my clients. I call it the inner freedom process. And so, we have all these feelings, and most of us don't really know if, they're uncomfortable. We don't want to feel stuff that doesn't feel good. That's normal. And so I talked about this last week too, so our natural tendency is to suppress or distract. But that just creates a lot of stress, a lot of internal stress and conflict. So this is how we don't abandon ourselves. This is how we meet ourselves and care for ourselves emotionally, is just by, can you just for now, as uncomfortable as it might be, it's just let yourself feel how you feel. And so what does that look like? It means just anytime you're feeling any negative emotion, you can just, if you can take a moment and just step away and have a private moment for yourself and just breathe. And just sort of from like this higher witnessing place, just first of all, acknowledging how you feel, even just naming it. It's like, you know what? I feel really frustrated right now because of, whatever he's doing. And then just naming it, acknowledging how you feel, and then notice, where do I feel it in my body? Here's the key, you guys. We got to get out of our head, and where do I feel it in my body? Maybe I feel like a real tightness in my throat. Maybe I really want to scream or punch something right now. Like, where do you feel it in your body? Maybe I've got that sinking feeling in my heart, that sad feeling, whatever it is. Like, just where do I feel it in my body? And then you can actually put your hands on your body, on your heart, on your belly, on your throat, wherever you feel this emotion is sitting in your body, and just breathe and just hold that. Just hold that feeling again from that sort of higher witnessing place, just like a loving mother would care for an upset child that's part of you, that's upset, that needs your love and attention right now. And so if you can just allow that feeling to be present with you and just breathe into it, breathe in some love, breathe in some light, and just sit with it. And usually when we give it our attention, it'll just kind of calm and dissipate. And then that's just like the beginning of this process that I call my inner freedom process, where we can then go in and start to even have a dialogue with that part of us that's upset. And usually when we're upset, like the thing that's really at the root of all our relationship challenges is that it's just, we have our patterns. We all have our patterns, our old childhood patterns that we developed as kids that now may not be serving us so well. Maybe it's just needing, like this, that was my whole life story, looking to other people for love and approval because I didn't know how to give it to myself. Well, I know how to do that now, thank God. And that's what I can help. That's why I love helping other people with too. But or maybe it looks like feeling like I feel overly responsible, and I've had all of these. Right? I feel like I need to caretake everybody else, or the whole people pleasing thing. So we all have our stuff. We all have our patterns that get developed, and so usually when we're upset, it's just when we feel really triggered, it's a deeper pattern that's running within us, and that's where the coaching support comes in. But I'm really happy to share with you guys, I'm going to be doing an amazing masterclass again next week. It's the 3 keys to get the love you want. And so we're going to look at how do you really get the clarity that you need. Where does that true clarity really come from? How do you get the clarity you need to be able to make the decisions that are right for you, whatever, wherever you're at in that decision-making process? We're going to talk about how to avoid the number one mistake that women make when they're trying to get their needs met inside their relationships. And how do you free yourself from these unconscious childhood patterns that we all have running? And so that's going to be Thursday night next week, August 17th, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And I will pop a link in the comments. So definitely come on over. It's going to be a beautiful 1-hour confidential gathering on Zoom where we can have some private time afterwards for questions and answers and do some coaching. And, my message really for today, though, for you guys is just that... we've got to get our focus off what's not working, because that's really just adding fuel to the fire. It's not helping. We've got to just, for now, get the focus back on ourselves. What do I need to do to take care of myself today? Or what do I need to do to take care of myself right now? That's always the bottom line go-to question anytime you're feeling any negative emotion. And use that little process, that inner freedom process, to just acknowledge how you feel and sit with those feelings and just release that. Let's take a breath and just know wherever you're at right now, however you're feeling, it's okay. And I'm here to support you, and I have lots of amazing tools and information to share with you. So join me next week for the 3 keys to get the love you want masterclass. And type in any questions, comments below too. I'll be going back to look for those. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. And I hope I'll see you next week, where we're going to take a much deeper dive into all of this. So sending you lots of love and peace. Remember to take good care of you. And I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.